Come on. Here's your drink, Granddad.
You want me to hold that for you?
I'm getting thirsty.
He's getting thirsty.
Yeah.
You all right?
Yeah.
Hold that for him, Tracy.
I'll hold it for you.
I'll fill this. Back.
I got it. Right here. How's that?
How old are you, Granddad?
How old am I?
Yeah. Can you tell your age?
92 or 91 years old last September or December.
91 December. When's your birthday?
17th.
December the 17th?
Dad's 92.
You're 92 or 91 now?
I'm 91
Daddy,
now.
why don't you just move over here? Sit right there on the couch.
1889.
You was born when? December the 7th?
17th, 1889.
1889. Where at?
Oh, near Barton or near Ellenwood, Barton County, Kansas.
Ellenwood in Barton County, Kansas.
Northwest, I believe it was.
Northwest. Was you born in a log cabin or what?
No,
Or do you know?
no, I don't know.
You don't know?
It wasn't. They didn't have. They was past the log cabin days up there then.
Past the log cabin days.
Yeah. If they ever had it, they used frame. They had frame buildings. That is in Kansas now.
All right, that was in Kansas. Did that bother you there? You know where your folks, where they originated from? Your daddy?
He came from Illinois.
Came from Illinois. Was he born in Illinois?
I don't know. I can get that record and look it up if you want it, but I ain't got it here
You
anymore.
don't know it from there. What did he tell you about? What do you know about your father? You said he come from Illinois.
Well,
You know where he was born? You don't know for sure where he was born at?
no. I've got a record of it, but I can't give it to
Where's
you.
your records at?
I don't know, around here somewhere.
That's all right.
You ought to told me about this. Had me looking for a week.
Had you looking for a week?
There's his picture laying right over there.
All right.
I want you to look at that picture, Bob.
And that's his mother.
Which one's the mother? Okay. Is that picture your daddy?
Yeah.
Michael, can you get a shot of that? How close can you get? What did he do for a living?
Oh, he was a farmer.
He was a farmer.
Uh-huh.
Who's this now?
That's his mother.
That's his mother? Did you ever know your grandparents?
Yeah, that was one of them.
All right, I mean his
No.
mother was...
Wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. This is my grandparents on the mother's side.
This is your grandparents on your mother's side?
Yeah?
And that's, what is that, J.I. Woolley?
No.
That's what it says on the back of the picture.
Well, what's wrong then?
He's Willie, Dad.
Huh? He's a Willie, yeah, but not J.I. It was Franklin, I'll have to get that corrected. I don't know who put that on there. It's wrong.
You don't think that? You think that stuff on the back of the picture's wrong then?
Yeah, that, well, I don't know what all we've got on it. I can't see it, Bob. You'll have to read it to me.
Well, I can read it to you. It says, J.I. Woolley, Winoka, Oklahoma. One copy, black and white. And it just tells us who the prints went to then. Route 1, Winoka, Oklahoma. That is... Who'd you think that was now?
It's my granddad and grandmother on mother's side.
On your mother's side. It's Grandma's parents.
Huh?
Or it's your mother's parents.
Yeah.
Can you get any closer, Michael?
It's
It's what now?
that Francis Woolley there, that's the man with the mustache,
Francis Woolley with the mustache?
was my mother's father.
All right.
And this other lady, she's Rebecca. Let's see what.
Rebecca.
I hate to put that on record when I know I ain't quite right on some of it. That was a great pair of people, I'll tell you.
What
She
did,
was,
what did she do? I mean, outside being a housewife.
she was a mother that presented the kids.
Presented the kids. The way you said she was a great woman and her name was Rebecca, you sound like you had something else you were going to say about her.
Well, I was. What do they call that women that goes and helps the women have babies?
She was a midwife?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was. She practiced right along.
Well, I'll be darned. Well, at that time they did that as a profession, right?
Yeah.
It's where they don't have so much of that anymore, but I understand it's starting to come back a little bit.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Okay, her name was Rebecca, and what was his name?
Frank.
Frank.
Frank M. Woolley. F.M. Woolley. Is his
That
name.
he used named after?
Yeah. It's Francis, and not Frank. It's Francis.
Francis?
Francis M. Woolley.
You said that's your mother's parents, right? Was you were named after him then?
Yeah. Yeah, I pulled them doggone whiskers so many times he's still sore.
Is that right? Well,
He thought I was a great boy.
he did.
Yeah.
Did they live close to you then?
Yeah, I lived right across the. After we come to Oklahoma, we lived right across in the next section, north and south side of it, and we were living in the north side of the other section.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Well, when you come
It
to
wasn't a quarter of a mile away, was it?
Not over a quarter.
when
Probably
you
wasn't that far.
when you come to Oklahoma, then who all came?
Well, they didn't come. My mother's parents didn't come for a couple of years.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Who all came when you did finally come?
What?
I said, who all came when you come then the first time? Did you?
My mother and father and us kids.
Really?
They let come down in a covered wagon, let a big milk cow, Holstein milk cow, all the way through.
Really?
Yeah, and her feet got sore.
You mean the milk cow's feet got sore?
Yeah, they had to rest her. I think they said they rested her half a day and then was very careful about coming on in.
Oh,
Rest the
really?
day. Yeah, they got pretty sore.
How old were you when that took place?
Oh, I was 6.
6?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I guess I'd have been, I don't know whether I was 6 then. I'll have to look that up, or whether it was the following December I was 6. I was 6 when we come here.
Can you remember coming?
Heck yes, I remember.
Well, I know it's a lot of things that happen when you're 6 years old. A guy doesn't remember.
Gosh darn, the roads were just trails then, you know.
Is that right? How long did it take you to come?
Oh, I don't know, 6, 7 days.
Well, did you make the run, or did he have the land already bought down here, or what?
No, had never seen it. The run was the spring before.
The run was the spring before.
We came in 95.
Well, did you buy land? I mean, how did you happen to come here?
Filed on it.
Filed.
He knew it was here. He'd seen a lot of people that, well, some of them had come back from coming down staking their land in the run, you know. There was people here, but...
You mean it was just land that hadn't been filed on yet?
Oh, yeah. No, it had never been filed on. There's a lot of land hadn't been filed on yet when we come here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was all grassland. There wasn't no farming or nothing.
Well, I suppose after the run, most of the ground was filed on within a week. But you're saying it was 2 or 3 years before all the ground was filed on.
Oh, yes, more than that.
How long was it before it was all filed on?
Well, was land in Wood County wasn't in the run, was it, Dad? It's just the Cherokee Strip. It was in the run, wasn't it?
Michael, wake up.
What?
Was it just the Cherokee Strip that they had open in the...
It was the second opening, wasn't it?
Was it? I don't know.
I think it is the second opening. It opened after the...
But all that country over there where we live, Bob, where you was born, that was all filed on. But it wasn't, a lot of it wasn't, most of it wasn't filed on during the run.
Oh, it wasn't.
A lot of it was filed.
Dad, if you'd said here, they could hear you. We could hear you better later.
You want to sit where I am?
Well, Mike and
What's that?
I was trying to get Dad to move over here. Move where Tracy is.
Come over here.
I was telling Bob, Dad, that I think a lot of the land in
Bring the chair
Oklahoma
over here,
wasn't
Tracy.
included in that run that was filed on. Was it? Wasn't they? There's a lot of land filed on that wasn't included in the run.
Oh, yeah, heck yeah.
More
Gosh,
than
yeah,
the
a
other,
lot of it.
You know.
They didn't very many of them. Oh, there's a lot of them made there on, but not too many.
Not too many.
And yet they had some battles over a fellow stake over here, you know, and that's his land, and some other guy come along. No, by gosh, my land's there too. That's my land.
Did you ever see any of that happen?
Huh?
Did you ever see any of that happen?
No, but I thought the fellows did. Old man Wilbur said he held his with his shotgun.
Oh, really?
And I bet he did. And the fellow that he said tried to take it filed in Winoka, Turk Reinhardt.
Filed in Winoka.
Yeah. No,
You mean he filed in the wrong place?
filed in Big Timber.
Oh, really?
You know where Big Timber is?
No. Do you know where Big Timber is,
Old man
Daddy?
Wilbur he's talking about, Bob, just lived west of him a mile.
Yeah.
And that's where he filed.
That's where Wilbur filed.
Big Timber's
That
on
fellow.
down southwest. over
How
there
did the
in
guy
Mr.
know?
River.
How did the guy know where he's supposed to file at?
Well, if it's already staked, they're supposed to have a sign on it, you know.
Oh, all right.
And the only thing that got Turkey in bad, he'd stuck his stake some other corner and hadn't seen this one, you know.
Oh, really?
Wilbur, I guess he had his registered. I don't know whether he did or not, but he said his shotgun was all he needed.
Oh, the shotgun was all he needed to
Took
stick.
him out and showed his mistake and the date that he had put on it, you know. Of course, Reiner just had to take his word, that's all. He was honest with him, let me tell you the truth. He used to like to tell that on the show.
He did. But anyway, he got to keep the land, huh?
Oh yeah, he kept it. Yeah, my daddy filed on that quarter out there, his. This, they had sections every so often. They called it school land. They couldn't nobody file on it. They could lease it.
Right.
And he leased a section of that.
Oh, he leased the school land.
Yeah, that's what he done.
Hmm.
He got that all in a bunch.
Where was that school land?
Huh?
Where was the school land that he leased?
Well, you know where Floyd Simpson lived.
Yeah.
You know where Granddad Woolley lived.
Yeah.
He's all of that,
Oh, it's all that
all of
section
that
there.
section north of me.
Oh, he had that all at one time, huh?
Yeah, but I don't know why. I couldn't swear to that now. There was one quarter that the Urban boys had. And I don't know whether they talked Granddad Woolley out of that to get that quarter or not. I don't know whether they made a deal with him or something. But Woolley owned the whole quarter except that southwest quarter where the schoolhouse finally was.
Try to talk just a little bit louder, Granddad. You get kind of low.
Emma?
Yeah, I can't hardly hear you.
I probably got this thing turned a little too high. Let's see, where was we going from there now?
All right, you said that they just knew that that land was available and they drove down here and filed on it. Was there any way they could file on it before they left, or they just come down here and look for open ground after they showed up?
They had to go back to Alva and file on it after they come down here and got it staked and so on, you know.
Oh, really?
So they had to get, after they had it so I don't know just how it was, but they had to have a legal paper on it some way before they could keep somebody else from filing on it.
From filing on it?
Yeah. The first man that registered at the county, the
The guy that got the ground?
man that got the land.
What did he file on? 160 acres in a quarter section?
Yeah, 160, yeah. That's all he could file on. In that part of the country.
Right.
They could sell their, what they call selling their annexes. They could go up to Alva and say, I filed on it, you wanted to trade me out of it. We could go to Alva and I could make the relinquishment. I didn't want it, I wanted to release it. And they'd make a paper on it, a release, and that left it open so you could step there up there immediately file on it, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's right. And they could be 100 or 200,
Oh, they did.
whatever dollars they wanted to invest in it, passed between them, you know.
Well, you had to live on it so many years before it become his, didn't he, and farm it?
Yeah. You had to live on it so long before you could get a
Title
deed
to it? A deed to it?
You had to prove that. You had to have some kind of buildings on it.
You go and prove that you had lived on the place. Heck, I believe it was 3 years. I don't
I think
remember.
it was.
I think that's what it was.
Some of them,
Well, after you lived on it 3 years, could you get on some more for 3 years?
No.
Could you start on another piece? Or what you got on
No,
one, that's all you could get?
That's all you could get. Unless you had, well, even if you'd sold it, I don't know how that would have been. I don't know about that, Bob. But you couldn't file only on 160 acres, even if you waited till after you'd proved up on one.
So you're saying once you come down here, he didn't know exactly what ground he's going to file on?
Oh, he didn't know.
He just come in and started looking for something, huh?
Yeah.
I'll be darned. How many, okay, they was him and little grandma, and how many children come?
Just the three of us.
The three. Tracy, you're
Bert.
standing in the light.
Bert and I and Floyd, sister.
All
That's
right.
all the kids. But when Willis come down, they had a house full.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How far away did they file from you?
just a little ways, about a quarter mile.
Oh, really?
Don't you remember that big house up there that was there for quite a while before
I don't think he remembers that.
Yeah,
I think
nobody-
it was tore down before he ever.
I don't believe
On
it.
Floyd's, we're on Floyd and Ethel lived.
Yeah.
I don't think Bob ever saw it. He might have.
It is a two-story house. Four big bedrooms upstairs.
Yeah, big house.
You don't remember it?
No.
You know
I didn't
what?
realize that Grandma was raised up just a quarter of a mile from you.
She wasn't. She was raised up in Kansas. She was married, and that's 3 kids was hers when she come here.
I don't mean that. I mean my grandmother. Your wife.
Oh. Well,
Oh, she was raised up further than that from her.
You said that they come down and filed within a half or a quarter of a mile from her.
Oh, he's talking
No.
about his granddad and grandma.
Oh, all right. All right.
they was over in Rosella district. Her mother and father.
Hinel district, granddad and Olson. They lived over in the Highland district, Hinel, you know, Dad.
Yeah, it was Bethel when they went to start school.
Oh, was it?
There's where your mom got all of her schooling. I got a picture of her school, herself.
Oh, really? Where'd you go to school at?
Cottonwood's the only one I ever went to. First thing was sod. Dirt floor,
Oh, really?
sod roof.
How many kids were in school? Did you just go a half a day or all day or?
Oh, we went all day, but we didn't go, but I believe the first thing was 4 months.
Was what?
4 months, I believe, the first term they had.
Oh, really? Well, did you go to the first term?
Yeah.
Was you been in the first grade then, or what we consider the first grade? Had you went to school Had you went to school someplace else?
No.
Did you enter school? You said you're 6, so that means you could have been already had a year schooling in before you come down here.
I did in them days.
No, I never had no school before coming here. I never went to school anywhere else when we
But
Cottonwood.
Cottonwood, how many years did you go?
Let's see, 7. Seven, I reckon.
7. Don't remember.
Maybe 8.
Don't remember.
I can show you a report card that I got when I was going to school.
You saved it all these years?
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
I can show you 2 of them, I think. But I know where one of them is. I don't know.
All right,
exactly.
we'll look at them later.
I think she had 21 scholars. Maybe it's more than that.
At what?
21 scholars.
21 scholars.
I believe it was. Yeah. It's got a list of them on it. So who all there was and everybody.
Okay, when you said 21 scholars, you mean 21 pupils or 21 kids, or
Yeah.
what's a scholar?
Well, what's a scholar that's going to school?
Oh yeah, all right. I didn't know how you was using the word.
That's the language I use. That's what she used then. She had so many scholars. She didn't have so many kids.
They had 8 grades. They taught. One teacher taught all 8 grades.
Oh yeah, look at that. 21 kids, huh?
That old man Wilbur that lived out there, he had more education than the first 5 or 6 teachers we had that taught.
Yeah.
Shoot, he used to come up to my place to help me at night with arithmetic.
Oh, he would.
Yeah, that's about all. I wanted to get that arithmetic pretty good. Folks wanted me to. He picked me and another boy, and he'd go help them. Me one night, and another
Oh,
next
well.
night, or back and forth, you know, as they needed it, as we needed it.
Who was the school teacher back then? Did you have somebody that didn't do anything but teach school, or somebody?
No,
part-time?
they were residents around here pretty close. Debbie Bixler was one of them. Well, you know her. Floyd,
Marty Bixler, wasn't it? Was it Marty?
No, well, Marty was a school teacher, all right, but she never taught our schoolhouse.
Was it Ray Bixler's mother?
It is Floyd Bixler's wife out here.
Whipple?
Uh-huh. Floyd Whipple's wife. See there, I got that name, Nick. I can't hardly talk to you.
How far was town? Was Winoka the closest town, or did
Yeah.
they have a closer town than Winoka when you were out there?
No. Winoka's pretty close. It's only 5.5 miles to the east line of the place that we lived on.
Oh, really? I thought it was farther than 5.5 miles. Is that all? Dad talked about going to school, driving in so far. I always got the impression it was farther than 5.5 miles.
Well, it was.
He
Where
wa-
I lived.
Oh,
Was what?
I walked a mile and a quarter, and then it was about 6 or 7 miles on into town. When I was going to high school.
Where, in Winoka?
When we lived out there on the old Goodale place, you know, I walked up to Wesley Simpson's, you know, and rode to school with him my first year.
Well, how many miles did you say it was?
Up to Wesley's.
No, to Winoka.
Well, the way we went, it was about, well, it was 2 miles further than where you lived, in that log cabin, log house. But it was west a mile and south
Well.
a mile.
Yeah, you had to go 3/4 mile north, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
What?
And a quarter of a mile west, east.
Then what?
And a quarter of a mile east to catch my ride.
Well, you caught it right there at the corner, didn't you?
No, I had to go to where Wesley lived.
Oh. All right.
3/4 mile north and
That's part of it I forgot.
quarter of a mile east, and I had to start out in the winter.
I walked up to that same corner, you know, and
Sorry.
caught,
you did?
Yeah.
I walked up to that same corner and caught the Ray Woolley to ride to my job down here in town for a long time.
Oh, you did.
If I was late, he'd come down by that way.
When you said your job, was that when you was working for Santa Fe or before you worked for Santa Fe?
I worked for Santa Fe. Leonard was way away from there then.
Well, what did your dad do in Kansas before he was a farmer in Kansas?
Farmer.
Did he sell out or what?
Yeah, he had just rented.
He just rented
He
ground?
bought most of his stuff down here eventually. Most of them did.
Do you have any idea how old he was when he come down here?
Oh.
How much older was he than you? Do you have any idea? Was he about 25 when he was born, or 20?
He's older than that. He is an old young man when I come along.
He was an old young man. You mean he's about 40?
I believe he's 36.
36? Oh, really? Wait, you're the oldest, aren't you?
Yeah.
He's 36 before he had any kids at all, huh?
He hadn't been married too long.
Well, how did he end?
He died a young man, you know. He's buried up here.
Well, yeah, you weren't very old when he passed away, was you? How old were you at the time?
Oh, I expect 17.
17.
I could have had the facts of all that, but I got to look it up. I can't do it just.
Well, that's close enough.
Asked him what he done for everything.
What'd you do for entertainment when you was a kid?
played ball and marbles, and the eye over, and about the same things all the kids did.
And the eye over, what's that, throwing a ball over the house? or
Yeah.
something? I heard you was supposed to be a pretty good ball player when you was a young man, or a kid.
Oh, somebody's been talking out of turn. I like to
Somebody's
play.
been talking out of
I
turn.
like to turn all right, play all right, but I had a broken arm, you know.
Oh, how'd you break a broken arm?
I was wrestling.
You broke your arm wrestling?
I didn't. Two other fellows did.
Is that right?
Huh?
Is that right? I
Yeah.
didn't know I said where you broke your arm.
I was going to school. I was to church one night. Of course, wrestling then was a great deal, you know. Shoot, you couldn't get hard to get a bunch of men together if they wasn't wrestling.
Oh, really?
Jumping.
Races. Foot races.
What you did, was you wrestling two other guys or something?
No, I was on the side that was wrestling, two of us wrestling one other guy.
Oh, and you was on the side of the two against the one?
He's a big stout cuss, older than both of us, not older than both of us, but than each one of us.
Right.
And I got my arm around his neck on one side, and I had this other hand on the ground. Another fellow got him about the same way on the other side. And they both decided to come my way, and I couldn't get my arm shut up. It just wouldn't go shut.
Oh, really?
They twisted it out. I squalled. I said, "You're breaking my arm." And old Ben said, just went ahead, and it went out all right.
Is that right?
That bone there that was supposed to be down here is broke off and slipped up in there.
How old were you when that happened?
I wish I hadn't mentioned it.
Well, do you think you were 15 or 4 or 5? I mean, not 4 or 5, but 7 or 8.
No, I was 14, 15.
Oh, really? Well, you were old enough to know better then.
Actually, when the last time you had a wrestling match?
When was the last time you had a wrestling match?
When was the last time I ever had one?
Yeah.
Well, I was pulling broom corn several years later. Still a young fella, so.
All right.
And we had an old boy there. He's quite a talker and a pretty good man. And he wanted to wrestle me one day when we got through the field, you know. I quit wrestling. I broke that arm. He wanted to wrestle me. And he got under my hide after a while, and I said, "Well, all right, I'll wrestle you." And I wrestled him. That's, I guess, the only wrestle I deliberately went into after that.
Oh, really?
Afraid I'd do that over again. That's the first time I'd ever been forced to it. I had a wrestle or two, but it was in harvest, and neither one of us was in very good humor at the time we had them.
That was a fight, huh?
Well, not exactly.
Well, anyway, what happened with your wrestling match?
I beat him.
You did?
Yeah, I stopped his mouth all right. I told him I'd just wrestle him one time. I wouldn't never wrestle him again when we started. And he was all right with him.
What did he say when you was he a larger man than you were? Bigger guy?
Oh, I don't know. He might have been a little, not much. I knew darn well I could handle him.
You did, What were you doing? You said cutting broom corn?
No, pulling the brush out of the stalk, you know.
Pulling the brush out of the stalk.
Yeah, the broom, the brush part is what they use. What the rest of it is just cow feed.
What'd you do? Just pull that down and then...
It's got a leaf coming out of the stalk here, you know, hanging out like that kind of. You grab the head, the broom corn itself, with one hand and that with the other, and then just yank it down out of there.
You done a whole field like that then by hand, huh?
Yeah.
It sounds like hard work to me.
Ah. Boy, and that stuff was wet and red and tough. It was a job, all right.
Is that right?
But when it was nice
After you
and
protect
clean,
your hands, it looked like after you worked at it for a while, your hands would be all tore up.
Worst part, it was itchy.
well, hands will toughen up, you know, if you keep at it.
Is that right? Did you wear any gloves? Did you have gloves to wear? when you did that?
You can't do much good with gloves pulling broom corn. You can pitch and wheat. I quit pulling broom corn and went to pitch and wheat. Broom corn is so doggone wet every morning.
Were you pulling it for pay or were you pulling your own broom corn?
Pulling it for pay.
What you get to pull broom corn all day? How'd they pay you?
But you're getting $1.50 a day for broom corn pulling and $2 for pitching wheat.
$2 for pitching wheat.
Whichever one. If you was pitching wheat, the $2 was the fee, and pulling broom corn, $1.50 at that time.
How's come the difference in price? They figured that pitching wheat was harder than pulling broom corn?
Yeah,
I mean, why did it pay more?
harder work.
Is that right?
Ordinarily it was harder work, longer hours. Yeah, we hadn't brought that, my daddy hadn't brought that old milk cow down here behind that wagon. There was a family, there's 4 or 5 kids in it there west of us. Their daddy, their mother had passed away before they ever come here. Gosh almighty, folks sure give them a lot of milk in 4, 5, 6 years there.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Or were there many cattle in the area, or there wasn't any outside of what people brought?
Oh yeah, there's some ranchers here. Yeah, it was kind of a free-range country. Their cattle was everywhere when we come here.
There wasn't no fences or anything.
No, the fences, but they're way off park, you know. So there's big ranches fenced in.
The big ranches. Well, was there ranches here before the people come in to settle it and file claims on the ground?
Yeah.
Oh, there was.
Yeah.
What did the ranchers think?
There was
file on the ground?
4 or 5 barbed wire fence between the 2 counties here, straight west of here. Good fence.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They kept it good too.
I didn't know that. I thought the land was closed or, uninhabited before people come in. Or the Indians had it.
Well, them ranches were a long ways apart. The place that, well, when we came here, it wasn't long till Floyd got a spelling member in his group. And there's a log cabin. You know where what we call the Spring Hill there on the
Right, right.
Well, there was a log cabin there, a good one, and there was good water there in that spring. And the old man Wilbur was living there, and that was the headquarters for sheep that grazed around there, had been, you know. He came over there at the house and found out, or at our home, found out that we didn't have no home yet, had a covered wagon. and found out what kind of shape Floyd was in, and he said, now listen, you folks ain't going to stay here no more. He told Dad, he said, you get them horses up and get them harnessed up and get this wagon up there by my place where I'm living. And then your wife can take over the house and I'll take the wagon till this baby gets all right.
Is that right?
That's right. And that's what happened.
What did Aunt Floyd come down with?
Remember Angel's group?
Oh, really?
It just looked like she didn't have a chance in the world. After we got up there, even, that place.
Was that when you first showed up?
When
When did she get?
Yeah, when my daddy was building the dugout.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, but it didn't have near done. We hadn't been here. Well, it don't seem to me like we'd been here over a week when it happened.
Oh, I'll be done. Was there any doctors or anything around, or you just took care of yourself a bit?
Oh, there might have been a doctor in Winoka. I don't remember it. But we never had him anyhow.
But anyway, you guys moved into his cabin while she was sick, huh?
Yeah.
How old was she at that time? Was she just a baby?
Yeah, she's what was she, 3 years younger than I was, or 2? I forget, she's 2 or 3 years younger than I was. But she got over it.
How long did you stay up there in his place?
I think a month or so.
Good gosh, is that right?
I said, I think now.
Well, I know he did. That's quite a while, isn't it?
Yeah,
So he lived in a wagon. You guys lived in the house?
yeah.
You say he didn't have
Of
a
course,
wife?
he didn't care.
He didn't have a
No.
wife or kids or anything?
If he ever had a wife, I never knew it.
Oh, really?
I never saw her anyhow. She never was here. He had a son, and his wife was here, years and years later. Old Bud Wilbur. You wouldn't know him either, would you?
What was his name?
Bud. I suppose that Bud was short. But he had a wagon. He finally fixed up a wagon and peddled groceries here for about a year. Couldn't get no job. And, he was farming whenever he could be farming. Peddling groceries when he couldn't farm.
And I'll be darned.
Groceries and shoes and gloves and stuff like that, you know. I don't think he lasted that over about a year. But boy, he had some pretty good stuff, pretty handy too.
Or did he go out in the country then to sell groceries?
He living in the country. He living out there with the old man.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. You're saying,
Right west of where the Cottonwood Schoolhouse was. You know where it was.
right. So you're saying he was selling he was just selling to people and
They lived around, yeah,
Really?
farmers. They didn't go to his place. He just took the wagon and drove out. Oh, they'd go there some, but it's closed.
well, in those days that was probably a pretty important deal if somebody come by, didn't it? Because going to town was probably an all-day job.
Yeah, take quite a while. I met him coming to the same doggone town, though, years later, and he'd be coming down there with a jacket on, and hotter than heck, you know. Fellow said anything about his coat. Well, my gosh, don't you know that anything that'll keep the cold out, or keep the cold out, well, I'm getting a
Anything
good
keep the
doctor
cold
and I
in,
can't get
keep
it
the heat out.
straight. What?
He thought that jacket was cooler than not wearing it?
Yeah,
Really?
if it keeps the cold in, it ought to keep the heat out, you know. That's what I was trying to say. He'd tell you that. And you want to take him, and he walked all over the country, you know. Hey, you better get in and ride. I'm going to town. Well, I am too, but I'm in somewhat of a hurry, so I guess I'll just walk.
Is that right?
Or I want to be sure and get there, you know. And But up better always, I'm in sort of a hurry, and I guess I'll just walk. He's a peculiar old cuss.
He wouldn't ride a horse? Or didn't?
He didn't have any.
God, I figured everybody had horses back then. I can't picture anybody not having a horse. How would you carry anything back from town?
I don't know how he got along. Yeah, he bum his neighbors, you know.
It's raining out there, Robert.
Says
Well,
raining.
rain.
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
Tracy, give Granddad a drink.
You need another one? You need some more of that?
Here's some.
Here you go.
I can drink that. Heck yeah.
There you go.
Thank you. I'm not quite as long as you are.
You said that they must have started school right after you showed up then. You said you went 4 months, right? Was that when you 6 or 7 years old, or was it a while before they tried
No,
to
that
have
was,
school?
they had to build a schoolhouse, you know, after we got here. We come here in 1895. I suppose they got around and got built, haven't I just started school in 96.
So you think you're probably, what, 7 years old when you first started going to school?
Yeah,
7 or 8? Okay, when you first arrived, he made a dugout. You lived in a dugout for a while?
yeah,
Then what did he do?
good big one.
Good big dugout?
Yeah, yeah.
How long did you live in
You
that?
dug it, you had 2 logs on each side. The rest of it was all dug out. 2 cottonwood logs on each side, and then fixed the ends up any way you could, you know. One of the end had logs on it. I don't know whether the other end did or not, whether the door was in. There was only one door, one to get into it.
Oh, really? Just big one room?
Yeah,
Well, I'll be darned. Did it have a stove, or what'd you do for heat?
used a wood heating stove, kind of a drum stove, hold a pretty good sized stick, you know. And the cook stove was wood stove too. And right at the side of the door, in that place, when he was digging, he left a piece of the wall come on up there, you know, just nice hide, set a bucket on. And that was for his slop pail.
Slop pail.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And I forget how in the dickens it happened, but some way or other, the bucket was sitting on there, full, and I was above it and fell, and caught that doggone thing where it fastened to the bucket, in my hide there and skin,
Yeah?
and just held me till they come and took me loose.
Oh, it did?
I didn't remember it, but I'd heard Dad tell people about it that would come in there, different ones, you know, him and Mother, different times. So it's so thin till I've never forgot it, and I remember hanging all right.
Hanging all right, huh? You heard him tell a story plenty.
Had a lot of centipedes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What about snakes? Were they bad too?
Well, they never got in the house.
What about centipedes? Did you have trouble with them stinging you?
Have what?
Trouble with them stinging you?
Oh, yeah, they lived there, I guess, same as we did.
Oh, really?
I don't know how many times I've heard Mother say, well, the ceiling was papered with old red building paper, you know.
Right. Old red building paper. Was that some type of, I don't know what old red building paper is.
Well, you've seen it. It's just the paper like they put on the side of the houses nowadays. Most of it's black, you know.
Right.
It's similar to that, and that's what it was for, was to keep the wind and stuff out. And you'd say, well, You hear that centipede, you better get up and get that thing. Oh, that ain't no centipede. And,
Is that right?
but she'd keep at it. Pretty soon you'd have to get up and kill it.
Oh, really?
He'd think sometimes it wasn't, you know. She'd hear her crawl on the screen door even.
Well, I'll be darned.
But they were yellow ones, they wasn't the big cedar. Them doggone things, they used to bring home over there from all the hills and them cedar logs. That they was poison. They was big.
Poison,
They was big. They were black. Kind of a mixed color.
Daddy, you went to sleep? Why don't you move over here, and I'll get on the other side.
No, I'm all right.
Come on, Dad.
Hey, you're doing a good job.
No, you're not. Help me carry on.
Well, what about me sitting down and get something to eat?
We will in a minute. Daddy, move up here before I have to fight with you. Show Dad over there sitting on his can. Come on.
Leave me on account of the-
Come on, Daddy.
You used to have plenty of them big centipedes over across the river where you lived there, didn't you?
Yeah, we had a few. I remember when they used to be crawling up there in that two-story house on Uncle Charlie's place, you know, had west side propped up with a couple poles to keep it from falling over.
Oh, really?
Every time it come up a windstorm, why we'd have to go down there and get the granary. Remember that, Dad?
Yeah. We was living there while we
Yeah, we
were
was
there.
living there.
Oh, really? What do you mean when a windstorm come up? Oh, you
Oh,
mean you
come up
go to
a
the
storm.
granary on account of you afraid to blow the place away?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be darned.
About the only thing good about that place, it had a lot of good water.
Really?
Mhm.
What were your chores when you was growing up?
Huh?
What were your chores when you were growing up? What all did you have to do? Pull up, Daddy, so you don't have to turn around.
Well, we didn't have much there for a while. We just had that one cow. She had 4 big tits, sure did give a lot of milk.
Is that right?
Sure did give a lot of milk.
She did.
When I was growing up,
What kind of cow was it?
Holstein.
Holstein.
Yeah.
when I was growing up, Bob, we had 12, 15 cows that had big tits, and they get a lot of milk too.
Well, did you go ahead and get you some more cows, or?
Yeah,
Start raising
as
some
he
more?
could, he did, yeah. But that's the reason he come to this country, he didn't have no money.
Didn't have no money.
That's the reason everybody come down here, most of them. Most of them.
Had more time than they had money.
Well, what all did he do when he first moved on the land? Was he planting broomcorn and stuff? I mean, how did they survive?
He
What was
had,
the cash crop?
He had 3 or 4, I forget whether it was 4 head of horses or not, or 3 when they come down. Seemed like it was 4. But he had a breaking plow, and he had a moldboard plow. The moldboard was a 12-inch plow. It did plow a strip 4 or 12 inches wide. The breaking plow wouldn't plow that much.
Oh, it wouldn't.
And there wasn't nothing ever been plowed, you know. It was all sod. And grass was heavy then. Some of that was gone. You get in a place that had blue stem on it, like 40 acres of that did. And it was way up here in the fall, you know. It took them a long time to get this country broke up, I'll tell you, with that.
Well,
Kind
he
of
was using a
machinery.
horse and a
Well,
plow and tear the ground up.
Huh?
Using a horse and a plow to break everything up.
Yeah, yeah.
What did the breaking plow have on it? How was it different than the other? Did it have a wheel on it or something to cut it?
Well, they had to have rolling. No, they didn't have rolling cutters either. They had a cutter that was near the point of the blade lay along here, you know, was fastened, and then here at the end there'd be a what they called a sod cutter that would come up on the edge of where the moldboard was fastened with a couple of bolts, and they kept that sharp all the time. That had cut that sod so that this thing could come along and turn it over, you know.
Oh, really?
The moldboard and blade. The blade had to cut, of course, and they had where you had sagebrush and stuff. Break a lot of single trees and double trees. If your horses would pull,
Well,
they tried to get them out. They didn't want them in there, you know. It'd break down every once in a while.
What'd you say, Dad?
I said, didn't Granddad used to go over across the river and cut cedar posts and sell them?
Yeah. Yeah, that's where they got their living, most of it, for the
What, cutting cedar posts?
going over there and cutting cedar posts and taking them up into Kansas and selling them.
Oh, they did?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
that's against the law.
Against the law?
Yeah.
Oh, was that bootlegging cedar posts? How come was it?
Well, that is
against the law?
government land over there, and there's a law against cutting timber on it, you know.
Oh, was it school ground?
It is all government land.
I mean, what kind of government land?
Belonged to Oklahoma State.
Oh, really?
And they had officers that go there and pick them up, county sheriffs, you know.
Oh, really? Trying to
Yeah.
get them to stop them from cutting?
Yeah.
You ever get caught cutting post?
No, he got caught with a post on the wagon.
He did.
Him and I forget who it was, Fred Wagner, I believe.
What'd they do to him?
They told him that there was a couple of more fellows up there that'll pick you up just after you get around the hill there. Well, they went around the hill the other way, and before they got around, they unloaded.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. They didn't think there's any way at all they could get around there in a wagon, you know. So they told them fellows would pick them up. Or else they knew it and give them a chance to get away. I don't know.
Anyway, they got away, huh?
Yeah, they got away.
Well, what'd they do? Just dump their cedar post?
Yeah, they unloaded them.
Unloaded them,
Just
huh?
load them off, yeah. Come on home.
Well, what'd they do? Take them up to Kansas and sell them?
Yeah,
Who was they selling them to?
they did, I think, 8, 9 cents a post.
Oh, really?
Some of the farmers up there fence the ground with. It is new country too yet, you know, quite a bit. A lot of it.
Well, that'd been a long ways to haul post,
Yeah,
especially on a wagon.
that's the way they hauled them.
Well, I'll be darned.
Heck, they didn't have no trucks, no pickups them days.
Oh, yeah, I know that. Did the railroad run between Winoka and Wichita or anything then?
Yeah. Yeah, the railroad was here when we come here. They had 2 stores, 2 saloons,
Is that right?
2 livery stables,
Is that right?
and a lot of 6 guns.
A lot of 6 guns. Was it pretty wide open then?
People wearing them.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Did they wear sidearms then? 6 guns?
Huh?
Did a lot of the men wear pistols?
Yeah, they didn't all wear them in sight, but a lot of them had them handy.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Was there very many shootings or anything like that?
Very many killings.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a couple outlaws lived right around here, you know, all the time.
When you said a couple of outlaws, what's the definition of how do you know they're outlaws? I mean, tell us something. What do you mean by outlaws?
Oh, they'd rob a bank or steal a horse if they wanted one. And
Really?
yeah, they're pretty rough, you know. You remember them talking about them yet, don't you, after
No.
you come here?
No, I don't.
Whatever happened.
Well, you know, the Game Boys in here. Ain't you ever read the
Yeah, I
story?
read about
Oh, yeah.
this.
Dalton?
Yeah,
Cole Brothers,
yeah.
What?
Cole Brothers, Dalton.
Yeah.
I mean, did everybody know they's outlaws and they just lived here, or they come through here, or what?
Oh, a lot of them knew 'em.
They did.
They was afraid to squeal, you know.
Oh, really?
And them Game Boys, doggone them guys, according to the book, they done a lot of good. They helped a lot of people that was about to starve.
Well, now
Rob the
then,
rich and give to the poor.
Huh?
They rob the rich and give to the poor, huh?
Yeah.
you worried about that storm?
Was that thunder?
Yeah, it's thunder and lightning
It's
outside.
raining like heck.
Well, let it rain.
I know it would. Doggone it, I got my grass mowed today. It'll just come right on up.
Is that right?
I told Ralph, I said, if it ain't gonna rain, you can come and mow. He says, well, Frank, it'll probably rain, but it sure make the grass good. So he come and mowed it.
Well, those outlaws that lived around here, did they finally catch him, or they finally quit, or what happened?
Oh, it got too rough for him, I guess. Got too many officers.
Well, they
I don't know.
don't remember what happened.
They wasn't. It wasn't much of a scare for people. They didn't. Not like you'd think it would be.
Well, the James brothers and those people didn't stay around here very much, did they, Dad? Wasn't they mostly in Missouri and up in there?
No, they was here quite a lot. Dalton was known better known than James was.
Was he?
Well, were they around when you were a kid, or was this before you were a kid?
Was they what?
What's the relationship as far as time goes? Were they in the area while you were growing up?
Well, now and then, yeah, just didn't nobody know it though, hardly.
Is that right?
Yeah. Usually when you'd get something out of the paper that where they'd been something happened, you know, off out of ways, and everybody figured it was the James boys. And
Oh, really?
didn't nobody know. Of course, they probably did know. But,
I imagine they got credit for a lot of stuff they didn't do.
yeah, sure they did.
I think we ought to go home.
I thought you were getting nervous. How's come?
Well, Dad's got to get his supper pretty soon.
Yeah.
Oh, I ain't going, but I'll get supper for you folks.
No, we're going to have to go home.
I'll run down and get some, call down to
No, Annalee's got a roasting oven and everything.
I told her we wouldn't eat till 7 o'clock.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did. Okay.
Well, okay.
You get as bad as Granddad. I'll leave you home next time.
I've got enough ice cream for one of you.
No, that's all right. Well, you said you was about 17 when your dad passed away?
I think so. I'll have to look.
Well, that's all right, 17 or 18. What happened then? What did you have to do after your dad passed away? What happened? He got cancer, didn't he?
Yeah. Trying to find though. I'll tell you what the old Lumstead asked me.
What?
He says, Frank, how you get along? You and your mother. And I tried to tell him. So you think you can get by? I said, yeah. After Daddy passed away, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I hadn't ought to tell that, I guess.
Go ahead.
He said, what in the world are you going to do? I said, how are you going to get by? I said, by gosh, I can still work. I was just a kid. I didn't know what else to tell him. And he helped out a lot.
Oh,
Give us
yeah.
time, you know, to get our groceries and things. He had been doing that right along. He was around her, but he had a heart in him as big as a. He run a store down here, a grocery store.
He gave you a lot of food on credit then until you got started.
Yeah. A lot of it he never got off a lot of people too, and he knew he never would. He was, he was a state senator here for a while.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, I think 2 terms. You ever remember him being
no,
state senator?
I don't even remember what he looked like.
He was a big man.
Well, how old was little grandma when he
Huh?
passed away? I said, how old was little grandma when he passed away? Do you remember? Was he quite a bit older than little grandma?
Oh yeah,
Oh, he was.
yeah. He sure
She was a
was.
pretty young woman.
I mean, you said he was about 36 or so when he was born, right? Was she about 18?
I've got
19? Was she 20
I've got
years
the
younger?
report of Grandma's services in there in the drawer. I'll get it if you want me to.
Well, we'll get it later. How old was she when? Was she very old when he passed away, or was she like 30 or 40? No, you don't remember. How old was your mom when your daddy died?
Huh?
How old was your mother when your father passed away?
That's what I said. I'd go get the record and
Oh,
show
you
you.
don't remember?
That's what you asked me before, wasn't it?
Yeah. I thought maybe you just could guess. I wouldn't. Yeah, go ahead and get it. All right, turn that off. Does he know how to know where he started or not?
Yeah.
This is your mother's book, Abiding Memories. That's a new one on me. I never heard of Abiding Memories. Oh, this is this looks like an order for the grave. Or for
Huh?
This looks like an order for Hall's Brother Memorial Company. This must be. You go ahead.
It's a guarantee, isn't it? Well, this ain't Mary's.
Here, this is Mama's right here, Dad.
This says Clara Edith Hinderliter.
Yeah,
That's your mother, isn't it?
yeah.
Okay.
Let's tell you, don't want it?
Yeah, Clara Hinderliter.
Someplace there.
Father Francis Woolley. Mother Rebecca Reacher. R-E-E-C.
Rieker.
Reeker.
Rieker, yeah.
Mother was Rebecca Reeker. Married to William Henry Hinderliter. Children F.I. Hinderliter and Bert W. Hinderliter.
Well, that ought to tell 'em.
And brothers and sisters is many friends.
Well, I got some little cards in there. I
There's
thought I
another
brought 'em
child
out.
missing, Daddy, isn't there on that?
Huh?
It says Granddad and Uncle Bert. What about Aunt Floyd? Why isn't she listed? What are you going after?
I'll go in there and get a card. I think it's got them on it.
I don't know why. July the 3rd, 1966.
Let's see it, Daddy.
Don't give the age, does it?
Well, it's my own over here. No.
Well, I thought you did. What's this?
Oh, that's the relatives.
This is Mary.
Ain't nothing in there shows her age. Well, she's the same age I was. Like from December to February.
He's talking about.
All right. They're tangled up. Raise up your other foot. Cut it off for a second. You don't know how old she was. Yeah, I know, but does your dad, you know how much older little grandma was than granddad?
Oh, probably about 16, 17 years.
Oh, was little grandma only 16 or
She's married
17?
when she's 14.
14.
Wasn't she, Dad?
No, I don't
Wasn't she
think
about 14? 15 when she's married?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I've got that, her certificate. I've seen it, not.
Well, don't worry about
Not
it. You
more
don't
than
know
10
where it
days
is, and I
ago.
don't want to hunt for it right now. You think she married your father then when she was real young,
Oh, yeah.
14 or 15 years old?
No, I don't think she's like that.
You don't think she's that old or that young?
Don't think she's that young. She might have been.
Told me all that stuff, but I can't remember.
She told you all that stuff.
Yeah.
You can't
She wasn't
remember.
very old.
Is that right?
They got married a lot younger than they do now.
What are you gonna do? Go get something?
I'm gonna go see if I don't know where that her certificate is.
Tracy, turn it off for a second. So you don't remember for sure how old she was then?
No, but I'll find out for you.
I'll be darned. What did you say asking about Uncle Bert if they ever got in an argument?
Well, I was going to tell you to ask Granddad if him and Uncle Bill Olson ever got in an argument.
Me and Bill.
Why are you laughing about that for? That must be a good story.
One of them liked to argue about as much as the other one.
Oh, is that right?
And I have heard them argue for hours on end. One of them say, look out there and say, that's a black pole. The other one say it was purple or something, just to get up an argument.
Not really.
That's right. Ain't that right, Dad?
Yeah. And we work together out there on the job. We'd rather work together than work with anybody else. seems
Yeah.
like.
Well, they was good friends, you know. And Mom and brother.
Right, you like to argue with each other all the
I
time.
seen, one time I saw Uncle Bill and Uncle Paul, that's Mama's half-brothers. We had an old tin granary when we lived out there right straight west of Winoka on the old Goodale place.
Right.
And one Sunday afternoon, while Uncle Paul and Uncle Bill was going to put Dad in that granary.
Oh, they were.
And Dad had on a brand new suit, or I don't know whether it was new or not, but it's the only suit he had. And by gosh, they never did get him in that granary.
Did they tear his
But
clothes
they tore
up?
his clothes up.
So you remember that, Granddad? You do. What happened?
Wonder I didn't get mad, wasn't it?
Wonder you didn't get
Nobody
mad.
get mad, but they, if I remember right, they never did get him in the granary.
What was the deal on that?
What was the deal on that?
Yeah.
Just
I
sort
don't
of
remember.
entertainment.
They were gonna just put you in for practice?
We had a big get-together at Ray Willer's one time, and Bill of course, and I was both there. And oh, that preacher's son used to live out there on the, I was going to say...
Russell?
No. He owned that place for a long time, right there south of where Homer lived, when he and Lois, when they lived on the old Cheney place.
On Rush Ball?
No. Well, anyhow, I was out there to Ray Willer's and a whole bunch of us, and had a pair of Boston dogs there. And Uncle Walter and Aunt May was there, and I forget who else. But Bill and I put the gloves on.
Put the gloves on?
Yeah, with each other.
Oh, yeah?
Boxing gloves on.
And I told Bill, I said, let's get Uncle Walter going. He said, how's that? I said, let's make him think we're mad. He said, he grinned and he said, all right. And we just hammered the heck out of one another. And the old man just sitting over there, you boys better quit now. You boys better quit now.
Is that
Wasn't
right?
neither one of us mad, but we was hitting hard. We just having so darn much fun at that. He thought we was mad, you know. Was fighting it out.
Right.
Verdict is who I was thinking
Verdict,
about.
yeah, Verdict.
How'd you ever meet Grandma? Did you go to school together?
Huh?
How'd you ever meet my grandma, Mary? Your wife.
Oh, I don't know. I guess I arranged it. Maybe she did. I don't know.
Well, did you go to school together?
No. Yeah, well, no, we didn't. She went to Cottonwood one term, but it's after I quit.
Oh, she did. You don't remember how you met then?
Oh, I met her so many times. Lord, there was a big bunch of us got together them days, you know.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Living on every quarter pretty near, you know, Bob.
Huh?
There was a family living on almost every quarter in them days,
Yeah.
weren't they?
Yeah,
Families per square mile.
there was. The doggone clock's run down.
We just done it because it was running a minute ago.
Ain't no. Maybe somebody shook it. I can't wind it. Hurts
Oh, really?
my thumb in there. Oh, when I wind that thing for 2 or 3 days, it just hurts to the damn. Leonard's been winding here. It's been running pretty well this week.
Well, after your father died, it must not have been too long after that you got married. You was what, about 18 when you and Grandma got married?
$19.
19.
Dropped it, Leonard.
You say you was 19? Both of you are 19 years old?
That is the right time.
That 5:45.
I had to get a permit to get married.
You had to get a permit.
I had to come back from Alvin and get one from Mother before they'd give me a certificate.
A permit from who?
Mother.
Your mom had to sign for you to get married?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be darned. How old do you have to be to get married without your parents' consent? 21?
Yeah, I think so, was it, Lenny?
Probably. I don't
I think it's always been that mistake. You're just finding out how much fellas you forget, can't you? Ain't
Yeah,
you?
right.
50 years, 60.
60, 70. 70 years.
70 years.
You're going to be 92 in December.
Well, where did you live after you and Grandma got married? Did you live with little Grandma, or did you move into your own place, or what?
Oh, we stayed there a little while. Then we lived first one place and then two.
All right, so you moved around quite a bit.
Yeah.
Where was Uncle Lester born?
He was born there in a home place.
Was he? What type of, when you say the home place, what was the home place when he was born? I mean, I don't know. Was it a frame house
It's frame house. No.
Log
No.
or was it a log house or
It
what?
was log and picket and frame.
Oh, really?
Had 3 different rooms in it. 3 different.
So Uncle Lester was born in a log and frame and picket house. Huh?
Yeah.
Is that right?
I
Yeah.
was too.
You were too.
Yeah.
So was Virgil. So was Aunt Lois.
All born in the same house?
I think Vernon was too, wasn't he?
Uncle Lloyd was. Lloyd was.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah,
other 3
Lloyd.
weren't. The other 2.
Who delivered Uncle Lester? Did a midwife or somebody come in, or? Oh, that's a smile, so it must be a good story.
Grandma Willie did. I
Grandma
guess.
Willie did.
Didn't she, Dad?
Well, she did, but it wasn't intended.
Oh.
Oh, it wasn't? What
No.
happened?
We had made arrangements with Doc Gordon. That's what I was grinning about.
Right.
And when I called him, I didn't tell him that it was an emergency.
When you called him,
Yeah.
how'd you call him?
I called him on the telephone to
Oh, really?
come out. And he come out, and just a little while before he got there, well,
Go ahead.
Lester was born, I suppose.
he told, she told, Grandma was there, you know.
Right.
She my goodness, Mary. One more person will beat the doctor.
Is that right?
And we did, and made the doctor mad.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's so.
He was already born time he showed up.
Why in the hell didn't you tell me it was an emergency? I said, I thought you was expecting it all the time.
When you said Grandma Willie, you're not talking about little Grandma then, are you?
No, the one that's sitting there with the
All right.
man with the big mustache on.
All right, I never knew her or anything. So she delivered Uncle Lester, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, she did.
Did she
But-
just happen to be there at the time?
Well, I think she arranged it on purpose,
Oh, do you?
just in case that,
Doctor didn't show up?
yeah, she intended to be there while the birth was going on, all right.
Did you help?
Did I help?
Yeah.
Heck, no, I didn't help.
Well, why not? I was there when Troy was born.
You was what?
I said, I saw Troy born. My
Well,
youngest son. I didn't think anything about it. I didn't see any reason why you might not help.
They're doing that more now than they used to, Bob.
Is that right?
oh, I know it.
Were
Yeah.
you there?
Huh?
Were you there when he...
Sure I was. Just as happy as could be.
What did you do while Uncle Lester's being born?
Oh, I covered quite a bit of territory.
You covered quite a bit of territory.
I thought maybe I had you out boiling water.
But he was just born at the house then, huh?
Yeah,
I'll be darned.
they all was.
They all was. You didn't go to the hospital for any of the kids?
No,
What about Uncle Virgil? Where was he born at?
born at the Goodale place.
Really?
I think. I can't be
Yeah.
sure. I can't find the record.
He was, I know he was.
He was. You remember it.
Yeah.
He delivered
Oh,
on
it was,
Doc Clapper?
Doctor showed up in time to deliver.
was it, Lee's place or Old Man's? Old Man's, wasn't it?
There was one out there where Roy Keith lived.
You sure?
Yeah. You mean that old Goodell place on down south there? Oh shoot, that place wasn't no place there then. Wasn't even a house there.
We moved out of the house that's there to Strong's place.
Not when Virgil was born.
No, but you said I think what I'm trying to prove is that you're mistaken about the house. Maybe I can't. But we lived at the we lived on the place. Oh heck! Wait a minute.
I can remember a little bit when we lived on that place. Uncle Bert come home from the war when we was living there.
The war? World War I? Really?
Yeah.
How'd you, what'd you do? You didn't go to
When
the
we
war?
living on which place?
The old man Goodell place down there on the creek.
And we moved from there to Strong place.
Yeah. Virgil wasn't born for a long time after that.
What were you doing in those years to make a living when Uncle Lester was born, Granddad?
Taking care of a bunch of sheep.
Sheep?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Milking cows.
Raising sheep and milking cows? I didn't know you ever raised sheep.
And railroading too, I guess, wasn't it? Railroading in, what was it, 33?
Yeah, but that was, all the rest of us kids was,
You were born in 1915, weren't you?
yeah.
And Uncle Lester's what, 4 or 5 years older than you are?
1910.
1910, he's 5 years older than you are? All right. What'd you do during the World War I?
Sheep farming.
When was it you hunted rabbits? You always told about hunting rabbits for a living.
And then what?
When did you hunt rabbits? I've heard you tell about hunting rabbits several times for a living.
Well, I did. But that's before I went railroading.
It was.
Yeah. That's been a long time ago.
Oh, I know, it's all been a long time ago.
Back there in them ancient times, Bob was talking about at noon.
Hunted 2 different winters.
Hunted 2 different winters? You remember what winters they
The big
were?
part of it, too.
You remember what winter it was?
It's a winter that there ain't been no more rabbits back there much since.
Is that right? You took care of the rabbit population, huh? I mean, it was in like 1915.
Old Luther
or during
Redgate
World
used
War
to
I,
say,
or-
old Luther Redgate used to say, by golly, Frank, they might think that you didn't change the population of human the rabbits out there in that country, but you just sure did. There never has been as many since.
Is that right? You
Yeah.
really thinned them out, huh?
He caught us several times with a wagon bed full of them, you know.
Who was that caught you with the rabbits?
Huh?
Who caught you with the rabbits?
Luther Redgate.
Oh,
You mean, was it illegal to hunt them, or what?
Oh, no. No, they was tickled to death.
Well, what do you say he caught you with them then?
Why did I say it?
Yeah.
Well, he just rode up behind us on a horseback, and we was coming home one night. He caught us. He saw us several times with our kill for that day, and he never seen so many rabbits killed, and you know, he just went on. And he told everybody in the country.
Is that right? Well, did you hunt them with dogs or what?
Shotgun? No, we didn't use no dogs. We were our own dogs.
You were your own dog, huh? Well, did you hunt them from the wagons, or did
Have what?
you hunt them from the wagon, or did you walk out in front of the wagon?
No, we had. Bill's dad drove the wagon quite a bit. When he didn't, we'd just stop it somewhere and hunt a while, and get in and go again, you know, a ways.
Did you make pretty good money hunting rabbits?
Huh?
Did you make pretty good money hunting rabbits?
No, but we made enough to buy the bread and butter.
Is that right? What'd you do with them after you shot them?
We dressed well, about all we could, and sent them to Bill's mother in Wichita, and she peddled them out up there.
Oh, you did?
To the restaurants, yeah. She was working in one restaurant, and she got rid of them rabbits, a good bunch of them, and the rest of them we just took the entrails out and put them in a barrel, salt barrel, and sent them to a fellow by the name of Peden in Kansas City. We never did turn them down. We noticed one spring that the rabbits were poor. They just got poor, it seemed like all at once. But we put them in the barrel, sent them to him. And pretty soon we got the same size check per dozen for them. And he said, don't send no more rabbits, they got the flu.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
They got the flu.
He was a commission man, you know, we send them to. But we hunted, sometimes we'd go just almost to White Horse Creek from out there where I used to live.
How many rabbits would you shoot in a day?
Oh, no, I ain't going to tell you.
Well, yeah, why not? Couple hundred?
Because you wouldn't believe it.
Well, try me. How many would you shoot in a day?
One day we got 360, and we went after a barrel of water just a little before midnight, and Bill killed another one.
Is that right?
361.
Is that right?
Boy, we had a lot of rabbits there. That day
How in the world did you ever clean them? You said you shipped them to Kansas City. How'd you ship them up there? You said
put them in a salt barrel and took them down to the express office.
What, okay, how'd you make a salt barrel? I know you got salt and rabbits in it, but I mean, did you just put a layer of salt and a layer of meat and a layer of salt?
No, we didn't use no salt. We had put them in an empty salt barrel.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Had to keep the meat good by the time it got there.
They had them, you know, and empty. And then you could pick them up at the grocery stores around most anywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, did you put it on a refrigerated car or
No,
car?
just put them right on the express car.
Really?
It was railroad on an express
In the
car.
winter time,
Yeah.
Oh, that's how the meat kept good till you got it to Kansas.
Old, I guess I can't think of his name. I used to be depot agent down here so long. What the deal was his name? He was relation to Hendricks.
I don't know.
One day he said, boys, how many birds you got in there with them rabbits?
How many birds?
I said, we haven't got any. And he said, I knew that'd be your answer, but I want to tell you something. If you ain't got a whole bunch of birds in there, you're just silly. The Santa Fe will never bother you.
Santa Fe and everybody.
Yeah, they're illegal, you know, and they was high priced then.
Oh, really?
But we never did shoot a bird, never did send a one.
Why, were some of the guys mixing birds with the rabbits?
Well, he thought probably there was, anyhow.
Oh, really? What kind of birds was he talking about?
Quails.
Quails?
Against the law, you know. But we never did sell one. Never did even shoot them when we was out. When we'd see them, we'd just let them go. We wasn't after them.
Oh, really? What about squirrel or any other game?
And if we'd have had them, if we'd have killed some, just some for our own use, and somebody to come along and caught us at it, why, they'd have been telling out, heck, they're shooting birds. They're selling them.
Did quite a few people do that then when you guys were doing it, or were you the only ones?
No, I don't know whether anybody else hunted them rabbits and sold them or not. I never did ask Gene. He would have told me if I'd asked him.
You didn't know of anybody else doing it?
Gene, now you know him, don't you? Gene.
Gene Frost?
No. It wasn't Jim, but it's Gene. I think he run, if I remember right, he run the Enterprise down here for a while, too. He said, if you ain't sending birds, you're just darn foolish. The Santa Fe will never bother you.
Is that right?
We could have made a lot more money.
Is that right? All right, you said they were high, too. You mean the restaurants were paying more for birds than they were for rabbits?
Oh, gosh, yes.
I'll be darned.
Huh?
I said, I'll be darned. I never even thought about that. I mean, we've been
We didn't sell jackrabbits. We sent in one bunch, but we sent them in a little late. They brought us a heck of a price. But it just looked like we never was going to hear from them. But they finally sold them, commission company. I forget what it was, but it was a big price for the jackrabbits.
There's a lot more cottontail in the country than there was jackrabbits, weren't there?
Oh, yeah.
Well, okay, was Uncle Virgil born in the same house then as Uncle Lester?
Yeah.
Who lived with Uncle Virgil?
All three of you boys wasn't you, Lester?
Yeah,
Leonard.
so.
What did you say about Virgil?
Who delivered Uncle Virgil? Do you remember?
I believe it was Gordon.
Is that a doctor?
Yeah, we had doctors to all of them, every one of them. I have an idea Lester doubts that, but...
Boy, I doubt he would doubt it. Michael, see how much time we got left on that tape.
That's about all you could work at around here in the wintertime was
What, hunting?
or cutting wood.
Did you ever cut posts too? You said your dad cut posts and took them up to Kansas.
Yeah, no, I never did. I never was in on that cedar deal. I always had to cut hard elm or something like that when I cut it.
Oh, you did?
Or else an old willow that wasn't no good at all.
Well, did you cut them for to sell to, or just for your own use?
What, cedar?
No, elm or any other type of post.
Oh, I cut elm, so. Dug out elm trees down on throats for to make wood out of.
You did. Did you have a lumber mill?
If you grubbed them out, why, you got the whole thing. But if you sawed them on the shares, just sawed the tree off and left the stump there, well, then you only got half of it.
Oh, really?
Less work, you know.
Where's this at now?
Down there in Big Timber.
I know it was in Big Timber. Was that on government land or something?
No, Harry Oak was owned the land then that
Southwest of here, just
Harry and I
just
saw.
straight west of here, just on this side of the river, Cimarron River.
You're saying if a guy cut down the whole tree and dug up the stump, he got all the wood, and if he just cut down the tree, he got half of it? Half
Yeah.
the timber?
Saw it in stove length, you know. You got every other block.
You did, huh?
Unless you stole it from him, and we never done that. They might be kind of pleased if the knot's coming his block.
Is that right?
But we played fair with him all the time.
How'd it happen you get on the railroad working for Santa Fe?
Well, the strike had been on for a long, long time.
The strike?
Yeah.
What type? You mean a strike against Santa Fe?
Carmen's strike. They went on strike. And, of course, they couldn't get back on the job after a while. And they run it, it was on, I believe, a little over a year when the officials give up that they couldn't never win it, you know. I had a chance to go to work when the strike first come on, but I wouldn't go to work then. But then after that, when they give up and all fellows working, Drake and them fellows had been working at other places down here, and they come up here and went to work. They broke their own strike as far as that's concerned, all of them. I went to work. The Willie boys are down there working, and
Were you all strike breakers then?
one day Elmer called out and said if I'd come down, he'd give me a job. And I was out working when we had that big bunch of cedar up there or sweet potatoes on the Irving place, you remember?
Oh, yeah.
That's when I went to work, you know. I was out there in the garden then. Mom come out and told me that they had called down and said if I'd come to work that they'd give me a job as a helper. I studied a while and I finally said, well, I guess I'll go down and talk to them. So I went down there and went in, and the clerk knew why I was there, and he commenced telling me about it. I let him tell me all about it. I said, well, now you give me a pretty good story there and sounds pretty good. It'd be all right if I step over here at the window and think that thing out a little bit. I didn't grab it then, you know. He said, yeah, it'll be all right. Take your time. So I went back then and I told him, well, I said, I'm not ready to go to work this minute, but I'll be back here this afternoon at 1 o'clock. If you want to sign me up, I'll come back and go to work. He said, all right, and he grabbed his pad, and he signed me up, and I went in that afternoon. And I went in, Conaway come in just about that time, and he signed up. But he went to work, so he had seniority over me.
Oh, is that?
I had on a clean shirt, and darn if I was going to get that dirty white one.
He had about two.
Oh, he laughed about that.
He had about 4 hours seniority on you, huh?
Then finally he got fired, you know. I got seniority over, and he never did catch up with it.
They hired him back, didn't they?
They hired him back, yeah, but they didn't give him his seniority while he was off.
What did he get fired about?
Oh, some defect he'd missed. They thought it was carelessness or something.
What was your job when you first started?
Oh, I was changing wheels and putting in couplers and doing more carpenter work than anything else, putting on siding and stuff like that, and lining in a car.
What are you doing, repairing cars?
Huh?
Repairing cars?
Yeah. All kinds of them, box cars, coal cars, and more drain cars and anything else, you know.
What are they doing, got tore up out on the track? Had they gotten torn up out on the track?
Yeah. Yeah, or else just natural wear and tear, you know. We put in a lot of them days. The center seals were wood, you know. There wasn't no steel in them cars them days. And then finally they got so they had a steel back to the bolster. And that saved them a lot of breakdown. When they had all wooden seals through there, they broke them down a lot. And it took some time to put them things in. They were 5 by 9 when I went to work. And
Oh,
then
really?
they got a heavier one they used. And then they went from that to steel. And of course the steel cars, when they get jammed, it takes a lot of welding and stuff. And they outgrowed me. I didn't learn to weld.
No, you didn't.
I'd put splices on them to get them home for repairs and things like that, but not to put them back in service.
Why didn't you ever learn how to weld?
Huh?
I said, why didn't you ever learn how to weld?
Well, they didn't demand it. They had shops of their own that was already equipped, and whenever they had a Santa Fe car, they'd repair it temporarily, you know, get it home, get it up there to one of them shops, or the other way, whichever way they happen to be, and the foreign cars send them home. The companies that gets them broke are not responsible for all of them. It just depends on where they break, what part of the seal breaks, you know.
Oh, really?
If it breaks, let's see, in front of the bolster that runs crossways, it belongs to the whoever owns the car has to fix it or pay for it or scrap it, one of the two. And if it's broke behind that, then if there's been rough handling, why, the company that done it has to pay it. Has to fix it or pay it.
You want a drink? You like getting tired?
No, I'm not particularly tired.
Daddy's about to have a hemorrhage over here. All right, today is September the 6th, 1981. We got Uncle Virgil. Go ahead and put it on Uncle Virgil here with us. And Granddad and my dad, Leonard Hinderliter. And Aunt Eunice and Uncle Lester. See if you can get Uncle Lester with him. You get these guys to talking. Did you look up anything, Granddad? You said you might. I just wondered from yesterday if you had...
Oh, I didn't get much done. I tried it, but too far to look.
Well, did you
I
get
got
anything
the-
done?
You asked, you know, about how old Mother was when she was married?
Yes.
17.
She's 17 years old when she got married?
I
All
got-
right, and
I
you...
got a bunch of that stuff wrote on that tablet over there.
Oh, you have? Where's your tablet at? All right, give it to him, Michael.
Yeah, I said a bunch. It's just on him and her.
Oh, all right.
Well, you want
If you
that
come up
now?
with anything you can add, we'll add it, you know. Huh?
You want that now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, William Henry Hinderliter was born the 8th month, the 15th day in 1862. in Cuba, Illinois.
All right.
He passed away in the 10th month, the 22nd day, in 1907.
Where was that, in Wichita in the hospital?
It was in Wichita, yeah.
Right.
And,
He died from cancer, right?
yeah. That made him, let me see now, I got that. He married Clara Edith Woolley, January the 1st, 19th, January the 19th, 1889.
1889?
Mm-hmm. That's the way you got it there?
Yeah, I was looking at Leroy's deal. I thought maybe you'd add some more besides what was in here. I'd gotten this out and read it in the meantime. What else do you have?
Well, Clara Hinderliter was born 9th month, the 12th day, in 1872. And she's 17 years old when they were married. He died in Winoka, 7th month, 1966.
1966.
In Wichita, that is.
Right.
That's all I got.
All right, I noticed in this that that little grandma had 3 children. You was the oldest, and then Floyd, and then Claire, and then Uncle Bert. But Claire May, was she Aunt Floyd's twin?
Yeah.
I noticed in here that she died approximately 3 months after birth. Do you know how it's come?
No, I don't know what, you mean what, taking her life?
Yes.
No, she never was stout right, you know.
Was it just because she was a twin and weak, or do you know if they had if they died from?
I don't think there's any record on it.
I thought maybe you knew from just being told.
I haven't. I don't remember.
Don't remember.
Huh?
Don't remember. I thought maybe you might know.
I don't think I was ever told or I'd remembered.
All
I
right.
believe. That's all I've got. That's all I had time.
Oh, that's good. I'm kind of hot in here. Is everybody else?
Yeah.
Michael, turn that fan on over there. I think we're gonna have to have it.
Better use the cooler, that fan.
All right,
You got a
Mike.
hearing aid, you can't hear nothing.
We had a cooler on yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah.
Go ahead and turn it on. Turn it off for a second, Tracy. Granddad?
Yeah.
Your dad was William Hinderliter, and his father was Daniel Hinderliter, right? That'd been your granddad. Who was your granddad on your father's side? Daniel Hinderliter? Can you hear me?
No, I hear you, but I can't get it separated what you said. Daniel Hinderliter?
Yeah, I'm talking about your grandfather. According to Leroy's record, he passed away before you were born.
Daniel did.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was your granddad, right?
Yeah, I think so.
What did you know? What did you know about him? What did little?
I didn't know nothing about him.
You didn't know anything about him.
Darn thing.
Nobody ever told you any history or anything.
Not that I know of.
You don't know what he did for a living or anything.
He did. Is he the one that had the coal mine for a while?
Yeah, it said it had a lead mine, right? A lead mine.
Yeah,
did
that's
some fire.
that's all I know anything about him at all. And that tells you there what he.
All right, I thought maybe you knew more than that.
No.
Okay, Big Grandma, your wife's married. Her father come across on a boat, right?
Yeah.
What was his name?
Chris?
Chris Olson. Do you know house come he come across or anything? Do you know where he come from, as far as that goes?
I think he came from Denmark.
From Denmark. Do you know house come or anything? Dad said he thought that he come over with his brother and got separated and never did find him again.
Well, that's the story, that they both started, but you got lost somewhere.
Was it on the boat or after he got over here? Or do you know?
No.
Did he ever tell you anything?
Chris?
Yes.
No, he never. He would if I'd asked him.
You never did ask him, huh?
No.
Do you know how old he was when he come over?
I believe he's 6 years old.
6. How old was his brother that he come with?
Yes, I don't know why. You already read as much as I ever did on it.
Is that right?
I tried.
You know anything, Uncle Lester? Did Grandma ever tell you anything?
Yeah, old Bud said he helped dig that hand-dug well up there in Greenberg, Kansas.
You mean Chris Olson did? He helped do what? Dig a
I saw
well?
that well, but I never did notice his name on there. Told me he helped dig it. Bud said he ran that ocean, that big. And that's the deepest hand-dug well anyway.
It is. You said he helped dig. Where's that well at?
Greensburg, Kansas.
It was a hand-dug well. How deep was it supposed to be?
I don't remember. We got a card in it, but I don't remember how deep it was.
Oh, really?
Deep started.
We keep thinking we'll go back up there, and since we heard this, look around.
Oh, really?
I heard him talking.
Did Uncle Bud tell you that?
Yeah.
You can drive up there back in the day.
Can you?
You know anything about him digging a well, Granddad?
Oh yeah, I've heard that ever since I heard about him, I guess.
Oh, really? Did he tell it?
Well, he would tell it, yeah. He
Yeah,
was
I'm
great
not-
to tell it. He's
I know, but
kind
you
of proud
said-
of it.
Oh, he was. Did he help dig that well?
Yeah.
How big around?
Ain't that the impression you had, Lester?
Oh, I don't know how big around you, Lester.
I didn't know he
They had
helped dig it
steps
for him.
down in there. We didn't know it when it was there, or we'd have
What'd you
picked it
say?
over a little better, you
I
know.
said, I didn't know Granddad helped dig it until Uncle Bud was telling us. It's a long time after Granddad was dead.
Yes, it was.
When did he pass away? When did Grandma's father die?
When did Mary's,
Yeah, when did Chris Olson pass away?
About 19 or 20, I'd say. I don't remember just barely.
well, I've got it in there, in his
All right.
all the report of the last services, you know.
All right. Do you think it was around 1920 or
Want me to go
so?
out there, go in there and look?
No, you might spend a half a day looking for it.
No.
Do you know where it is? How long would it take you to find it?
Not to exceed 5 minutes.
All right. Go find it. Put it on hold, All right, Granddad, according to this, Chris Olson was born in Denmark and passed away at Oklahoma on October the 29th, 1923 at 65 years, 7 months, and 8 days of age. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
You'll find, if you look, you'll find out that his neighbors, one of his neighbors, made the talk there.
One of his neighbors?
Yeah.
Of course, I wouldn't recognize his
farmer.
neighbor. H.J. Fry, it looks like.
Yeah,
F-R-Y-E.
that's
He give the services?
Yeah.
All right.
What fry was that, Dad? Uh-huh.
What Fry was H.A. Fry?
J.H. Fry.
J.H.
Any relative to Bob Fry?
Bob,
Yeah.
oh, these Fries lived out there, isn't it? And wasn't either one of them Bob, was there?
Yep.
Was there?
All right. What about grandmother's mother? When did, or your Mary's mother, your wife? What's the history on her mother? Is that hers there?
No, I don't think I've got anything on it. No, this is one of the girls.
I mean, I don't know. Was Grandma's mother alive when you guys got married?
No,
She wasn't?
no, this is the Leonard. You want to look at
Her
this?
name was Barry. Bob.
Barry.
Barry.
How old was, do you have any idea how old Grandma was when her mother passed away?
Oh, she was just a kid.
Just a kid.
Just a kid.
So she was raised by her father.
See, she never was in this country.
Oh, she wasn't?
Yeah, she was. No, she wasn't.
Her mother never was over
Wait a
here?
minute now. She was here. She passed away here. It's funny, they ain't one of these. Wait till I look at this, see what it is. It ain't, though, I'm sure.
Yeah, she's buried in Kinsley, Kansas.
Buried where?
Kinsley, Kansas?
Kinsley, Kansas. And what'd you say her maiden name was?
Barry.
Barry.
Marietta Barry.
Marietta Barry. Do you know anything about her daddy?
I don't know anything about it.
Well,
I knew her brother. I
Yeah.
mean, Mama's uncle, Uncle Jim.
all right.
He was a dignified old guy.
Smarter than whip.
Carried a gold watch. I don't know what all. Dressed up. He was some kind of contractor.
All right. Hey, Eunice, did you say you went to a reunion and met one of